marches on your gates, you need to take control. World Pest Control in Sylvan Grove, Otis, and Salina.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Under centers Mahomes. They come on a jet sweep to Tony. At the 10 on the angle. Breaks a tackle inside the 5. Near front pylon. Touchdown! Kansas City!
Like I've said a lot, is our first goal is win the AFC West. Second goal is to get home field advantage, which we're in a weird spot there. But now we're going to get this bye and try to get back to the playoffs.
It shows a lot about this team, connection, composure, resilience. It just shows a lot, and the character we got here.
It's kind of been a mindset that we've had all year. I think a lot of people have doubted us or put us in this position, but I think a great thing about our guys and this program is that we've never listened to anything outside of our walls or anything outside of our program. We see ourselves how we see ourselves, and, you know, I think that's the most important thing.
Screen from Masood. Noel again turning the corner. Masood launches. 3-ball. Pure! Ish Masood puts Kansas State on top.
We're not trying to prove doubters. We're trying to just continue to believe in ourselves, and we know where we wanted to get to. We're not there yet. I do know that I don't know when's the last time a team had to play 3 ranked teams in a row and 2 of them on the road. That's a great accomplishment.
Screen from Masood. Noel again turning the corner. Masood launches. 3-ball. Pure! Ish Masood puts Kansas State on top.
Harris skips the pass in the corner. 3-pointer launched and hit. Jalen Wilson touched every part of the rim and somehow got it to go.
3rd and goal for the Lions from the 6-inch line. Goff out of the gun. Hands to Jamal. This time he's in. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. They are back on top.
Play fake. Russ rolls to his right. Throws the ball wide open. Receiver. Portland second. Touchdown, Denver.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the first Monday Sports Day show we've had since mid-December. That must mean we're in the dark days of January. We've got to work 5 days a week. I don't know about that, but we're excited to be here on a Monday. Steve Webster, Mike Corson, Mike Hesher with you, running the controls today, our studio producer. So when you hear things go wacky, you know who to associate with that wackiness. On the program today, Barton women's basketball coach Alan Clark will be in. They win again over the weekend, knocking off Northwest Tech. They've got a big game coming up with Dodge City on Saturday, but before that, they've got a game at Colby on Wednesday. We'll talk about that. Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mazunas will be in, and Mike Corson going on the prowl today, talking with Great Bend Panther boys wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. They're talking about the boys today. They'll be talking about the girls tomorrow. And, of course, we'll have all the weekend sports headlines, plenty of things to talk about, and our sounds the past 24 or 48 or 72 hours. Gentlemen, good day.
Good day, sir. How are you today?
I'm really good.
You are fired up today, aren't you? I can tell.
Well, you come in here and you get to talk sports. And
got that nice looking
other thing.
I got that nice looking Barton shirt on there that he made me take off mine. So
why did you wear yours today?
I'm going to wear it as a cover up because it's cold downstairs, and that's going to be my jacket inside. Instead of this old black thing, I was going to wear the Barton one.
Well,
but I don't like looking like...
If you look like this right now, do you realize how white this is?
I know, man. That's
I've got 3 stains on it already.
That's my biggest
I haven't got through the first day.
Wait, where's your stethoscope and your tongue depressor?
Yeah, Mike Corson's thought today, I saw you come walking in with, you weren't even supposed to get that. That was the one that I was going to give back. And he said, what? And you were over, well, can I have one?
I did not. He said, I think it'll fit him. Thank you, Mr. Combs, Coach Combs.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're ready to get sounds past 24 hours or so, or past 72 or 48. Let's see, the call on B1043, the point Saturday. The Chiefs score a touchdown and take a 20-3 lead, added the extra point, 21-3 at halftime. The Chiefs go on to beat Vegas 31-13. What a wonderful feeling that was. Not that Mahomes is on the sideline. You've got the backup quarterback in. That's the way it's supposed to be.
We're playing Ring Around the Rosie. Did you see it?
Yes, I saw it. Why don't you just run the ball and score a touchdown instead of playing ring around the rosy and all these stupid plays that they run? It's going to come and bite them in the playoffs.
It worked, except the penalty. And people complain about the dances and whatnot. No, it is entertainment. We have made it clear that it's more than sports. It's entertainment.
Did you see the Raiders when they were doing that ringer? They just, like, are you serious?
And then they popped out of it. Everybody knew where to go, and then...
Okay, remember when the Raiders won a couple years ago in Kansas City and supposedly took a victory lap around Arrowhead Stadium? Could this be a little payback?
Do you think that's what it was? That would be nice.
I don't know what it was. I'm not in the locker room, but I think it... I'm like Mike. I think it just adds some excitement. And you know those players, they've been with each other since, what, August now? Let's have some fun, gentlemen.
Yeah, coming out of the bye.
How about just scoring a touchdown without having to do all the doozy stuff?
Boring.
I think you threw them off a little bit, but
enough that they ended up getting a holding penalty on
cheap.
The Chiefs win it, though, so they wrapped up the #1 seed in the AFC. 14-3 Chiefs. What did I say they were going to finish? 13-5?
9-7. 9-7. You did not. Okay, 13-4 was your correct record.
All right. That's because I couldn't be that positive around Dr. Doom, who had him winning
10 games, baby.
So 14-3 sets a franchise record for regular season victories set in 2020. 17th consecutive game of at least 300 yards. Patrick Mahomes also broke the NFL record for total yards. 5,608 total yards this season, saying they've reached their goals. They want to be #1, have home field advantage, as long as it's not Buffalo. So the playoffs are all set, boys. So here we go. Saturday. Seattle made the playoffs. Imagine that.
They ruined my Sunday evening.
Just twist into the Broncos.
They will play San Francisco in an NFC matchup. The Chargers will play Jacksonville on Saturday night on NBC. The other games on Fox. Sunday playoff games. Miami at Buffalo. And New York, the Giants at Minnesota. And then on Sunday night, we'll have Baltimore at Cincinnati. Go Ravens.
Saturday's game's not very good, but all those Sunday games are...
Well, why don't they make it?
Awesome.
Yeah, they need a national holiday for Monday. Dallas at Tampa Bay. Cowboys are going to get beat.
Man, Tom Brady against America's team.
They're going to go down. The Chiefs, of course, will wait. They will play the highest ranked team or highest seeded team.
They play the lowest ranked team.
Whatever, the lowest, highest, the worst team left that's still available.
Okay, that'll be the lowest seed. Oh, depending on how you look at it.
Highest number.
Okay,
yeah,
it's okay. The highest number. Thank you. All right.
Playoffs are underway.
I'm Dr. Doom. What am I doing?
College football playoffs get the national championship game to be played tonight. For Georgia, a chance to enter the dynasty conversation. They become the first school to win back-to-back college football playoff championships since its inception in 2014. The first repeat national champion since Alabama did it in 2011 and 2012. Running back Kenny McIntosh talking about it's been a little bit more of a struggle this year to reach the championship game than it was a year ago. TCU, not even ranked when the season began. They were picked to finish 7th in the Big 12 preseason poll. I think that was 7th right behind Kansas State, right? Wasn't Kansas State picked for 6th? And they need to let us start voting on that thing because obviously the media doesn't know what they're talking about. Max Duggan, they're a 12.5-point underdog tonight. Can they pull it off? I just can't see it. Those football games are just too long. You have to do like Michigan, do dumb things offensively, turn the ball over, just one of those things like when Villanova beat Georgetown in the national championship. They had Patrick Ewing. I mean, it had to be a perfect game. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think that TCU can stay within a couple of touchdowns. But I don't think they can win it.
I was talking to our county director of operations, Matt Potsner, and he threw out that he thinks Duggan will need a 300-yard in the air, 100 yards on the ground for him to be competitive. And I probably don't disagree. 12 points is maybe generous.
Yeah, that defensive front of Georgia's pretty good. I mean, so they're going to be putting some pressure on, so he's going to have to complete some passes under duress. and he's going to have to run for his life when he doesn't have anybody open. He showed he can do that. But, yeah, you're going to get some turnovers in there somewhere. So,
And I think Ohio State was better than advertised. I think they got washed out with the Michigan loss.
yeah.
And so I thought Georgia was going to kind of walk over them, but then you realize, well, Ohio State was good. So here's another conversation. Is the Big 12 up there with the big boys? Well, we didn't do too well in the bowl season, so
Well, we've got one in the national championship.
we're there.
Yeah, I think at 12.5. So, which way did you place your bet in the dumpster out back?
Bulldogs.
Okay, you got it. So, what do you think? 16, 17?
I hope. I mean, I think TCU's got to stay in it earlier.
I'm taking the dogs to cover myself. Hesh? Okay.
I don't bet. So I think Georgia will win if you're asking me that question. As far as a point spread, no.
You don't bet?
I bet on myself.
Well, there'd probably be a reason not to go out and place a lot of bets in. If you're...
I do have the 10-7 market, so there's a reason I don't bet, obviously.
All right. The call Saturday on the Big 12 Network. Ish Mashoud hitting a three-pointer, 31 seconds left. K-State extends their winning streak to 8 games. They beat Baylor in overtime, 97-95. Jerome Tang, 19 years at Baylor, said, just didn't really feel that good. Well, he was just trying to, because they treated him nice down in Waco. Gave him standing ovations, but they probably won't do that again as K-State gets the win. They're 14-1, their best start since 1958 and 1959. Wow.
What a hire.
Yeah, I think doing pretty good.
But I like the way he's doing it classy, too. One of the first comments he made coming out was he wants to maybe tone down the Octagon of Doom that Frank Martin got all riled up. And I've not enjoyed watching K-State basketball because of.
Are you talking about the livestock chants and stuff like that with
all the negativity and go cheer on a team?
Well, how can they not? How can they be negative after the start they're on?
Right, so I like the culture he's brought in.
Oh, he's Jerome Tang. What a home run they've hit with him. They take on Oklahoma State tomorrow night. That's what he was saying. Yeah, it's pretty cool that we're there, but not yet. Oh, by the way, K-State goes from unranked to ranked number 11. Pretty good spot for them right now. KU is ranked number 3. They won on the road Saturday. Jalen Wilson hitting the second half three. They gave second-ranked Kansas a 50-41 lead on West Virginia, going on to win it 76-62. So while K-State's home to Oklahoma State tomorrow night, who's played pretty well, KU is at home tomorrow. They'll have 2 home games in a row to take out Oklahoma a week from tomorrow on a Tuesday. Why are they scheduling all these games on Tuesday now? KU at Kansas State. Might be a game you want to catch.
And how did we in Kansas get stuck watching TCU, Iowa State when we have 2 exceptional programs at this point?
Well, maybe we'll start seeing them treat us better now. Wichita State, by the way, beat South Florida yesterday 70-66. Top 25 again, Kansas State. Number 11, right behind Texas, who they drilled in Austin. Texas is number 10. Kansas is ranked 2nd behind number 1 ranked Houston. Okay, and a couple play-by-play calls here. Call on the Lions radio network. Jamal Williams notching his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, giving the Lions a 20-16 lead on the Packers in the 4th. You lost your shorts on that game, didn't you? You went with Aaron Rodgers. You're going to stay in there. He's going to win it. No, the Lions, who missed out on the playoffs because of the Seahawks win over the Rams, beat Green Bay 20-16, eliminating them from the postseason.
Yeah, Aaron had his business haircut going. He's been hot the last couple of weeks, untouchable, and then he goes out and. But the guy who broke Barry Sanders' record, put an asterisk by it. He's got an extra game in there, man. And then did you see his interview after the game?
It's not fair.
He went from crying to trash talk in about 4 seconds. It was unbelievable.
And I played this just for the benefit of Bronco fans, and I've got a story behind this, too, because a call on KOA, Russell Wilson finding Cameron Sutton in the end zone for a 20-yard TD connection. The Broncos beat the Chargers 31-28.
Can I correct you on that? It's Cortland Sutton. You said Cameron.
Well, it said Cameron on there.
Well, it's Cortland. Okay,
Cortland Sutton.
I know Bronco fans out there would come unglued.
So I'm watching.
Right now. I got control too, buddy.
So I'm watching this game. And when Cameron Sutton... I've got to give Bronco fans credit because I really felt like the Grinch. Remember when the Grinch was up looking down on Whoville on Christmas morning when he had stolen all of their Christmas gifts, but the little Who people came out in the courtyard and they were singing Christmas carols and they were holding hands. That's the way Bronco fans were yesterday. Man, they were in that game. They had their chants going, and you never would have thought that they were missing the playoffs for the 7th straight year, and it disappointed me. I wanted to hear just, no one making any noise, but there they were, cheering on their team. A sports day salute to Bronco fans.
They've been putting up more points with the new coach. I like the division with a competitive Denver team anyway, so I'd say don't quite count them out for next year.
Well, of course not.
We don't even know who their coach is for next
Sean
year.
Payton,
Come on.
that's the next savior coming down the aisle right now.
Jim Harbaugh.
But didn't you want to see him suffer a little bit? I mean, but there they were. They were happy, and they were making noise, and they were happy they won, even though all their toys had been taken away for Christmas.
They live in Colorado. Of course they're happy.
All right.
And
There
we'll
you
leave
go.
it at that.
There you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so.
Real quick on the Bills game, I didn't get real emotional watching the whole thing go down Monday night, but seeing the guy run back the first kick return in 18 years to open a game and hearing Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, I felt more in that moment than I did. It was just kind of cathartic.
Hash, you're a conspirator theorist, so that was all set up by the NFL, correct?
That's right. And what about the second return for a touchdown he did later? There's been like 4 returns for touchdowns all year and 2 of them in the same game?
Well, why did they just make it? Why did they run the second one back? They broke script there because wouldn't it be perfect? It was number 3. That's Hamlin's
good
number.
point.
Yeah,
No, okay.
yeah, it was all set up, and then then New England didn't get the message. So, yeah, that was. Who would have drawn that up? That was, return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Okay, Alan Clark's going to be on the show today. Lady Cougars win on Saturday convincingly once again, 75-43. We'll talk about the week ahead. Lady Cougars play at Colby, and then, Dodge City coming to town on Saturday. Also, the Tribune's Jim Mizunas will talk high school basketball, run down some of the results from Friday night for you. And then Mike Corson on the prowl talking Panther Wrestling with head coach Nathan Brockelman. All part of Sports Day. It is the Monday show here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching in the field of nursing. Get hands-on training in the classroom, state-of-the-art simulation labs, and at clinical sites for this high-demand field. The priority application deadline is January 31st. Apply online at nursing.bartonccc.edu.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. And after a year in business, Dr. Luke Criley has joined the practice. He is a physical therapist that also offers dry needling. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse, 2817 9th Street, Great Bend.
Great Bend Appliance Furniture and Sleep Source, your Whirlpool dealer, is celebrating 24 years of free delivery and service after the sale. Here's Dale Pruder.
We try our best. We do have 2 service people. We try to take care of you after the sale.
And you continue to get new products in all the time.
We just keep after it. We have financing, 12 months, same as cash every day on $4.99 and above.
If you need it, they probably have it at Great Bend Appliance Furniture and Sleep Source, your Whirlpool dealer at 10th and Morton.
Each year, more than 3.5 million older adults are victims of financial exploitation in the U.S. Many are afraid to report it, but taking action prevents additional victims. Here's what you can do. Stop. Don't interact with the scammers. Verify the source with a trusted person and report it right away if you think you've been scammed. Call 1-800-922-5330 to report. Sponsored by the state of Kansas and aired in cooperation with the Kansas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
We love it when guests come in with their own ideas because after listening to us, they probably have several different ideas that contradict what we're trying to say. So you're not believing the conspiracy theory,
Not at all.
Alan Clark?
Not at all. Bill Belichick would not let that go on.
Well, see, what happened was Buffalo then didn't, because that was the whole thing. Buffalo's going to run the opening kickoff back, and then Buffalo's going to let New England bring the ensuing kickoff, and they didn't.
Oh,
they
reneged on their part, huh?
Yeah, so they got Belichick.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the thing. Oh, Alan Clark with us here. His team wrapping up another successful week last week. You know, the thing that I watching your team this year, Alan, is for the most part the consistency. I mean, if you're supposed to beat a team bad, you just beat them bad, and you went through that one stretch. And consistency in a long season, like we talked about, is a key. But this group's pretty consistent.
Yeah, we have been, and we've had some bad quarters, but we've not had a bad game. We've had some slow starts, against Northwest Tech at 16-16 at the end of the first quarter, and I just asked my team in practice this morning. Okay, so it's 32-12 in the second quarter. Why wasn't that the first quarter?
What'd they say?
They didn't know. They just, we're notorious for getting off to slow starts. I don't know. Maybe I don't prepare my team correctly because it's not just this year. We've had teams in the past that were the same way, just slow starts. And I remember Coach Watson, Coach K used to tell me, give him a quarter, Coach. She could tell during warm-up, Coach, you're going to need to give him a quarter to this game. And okay, well, but after that, let's go.
Are those things as coaches that drive you nuts?
Oh, yeah. Does me. I don't know about all coaches.
Well, it would. I mean, because what are we going to do? So
yeah.
Then you're going to change everything up around, just try to overcome that. Who knows?
Yeah. And we were pressing, which we don't do a lot of. We pressed more this year than we have in the past, and we started in a press, and we weren't very aggressive in it. And again, part of that's because we don't practice it a lot. We don't do it a lot. We got a little bit more aggressive in it the second quarter, but we, at halftime, I told our kids, all those turnovers we created, which we created 14, but then you look at the stat sheet, we turned over just as many times. So, and they didn't impress us.
The eagerness to turn those points into, or turnovers into points, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it was a bad start. It's going to be slow when you get the opening tip, and you have to go to the floor to get the opening tip. You're on your knees, and you try to pass it to your teammate, and it goes out of bounds. So now you've given up that possession, and you've given up the arrow to start the game.
You just call for a do-over,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Okay, can we start over again here?
Yeah.
But one thing, you've been able to turn the lights out on some teams, as you mentioned, some big quarters this year, and that it pretty much was the deal in the second quarter on Saturday.
Yeah, we've had some really good streaks at times. It seems like a long time since we played Butler. It was a month ago, and we haven't talked since then. And we went to Butler and won that game, and had a nice stretch in that game, and went to Seward on Wednesday, and got up by 10 or so or 11 against Seward, and that was. I don't know if you saw the ending of that game, but it was a crazy ending to that game.
So how does the technical take me through the last minute? Because I mean that was.
Well, going back to the whole game, we led pretty much the whole game. I think we got down early again.
Yeah, you're in control, and then all of a sudden you're down by 4 points. It's crunch time.
We had some lapses defensively, and allowed them to get back in the game, and then we had, we didn't get some baskets, and so here we are. We're down 4 all of a sudden, and in about a minute and, I don't know, 2 minutes to go, maybe minute and a half. We get 2 free throws to cut it to 2, and then we finally get a stop. We get the transition, and Brennan Kirchhoff hits a 3 to put us up 1 with 45 seconds to go, and we go down and get a stop. And I think we made 2 more free throws and put us up 3, and then we get another stop. They run this inbounds play where they throw it over the top, and they, Coach, I can't pronounce his last name, Todd. If you're listening, I apologize, but Coach Todd, he's run that a lot of times this year, and he ran it against us last year, and so we knew exactly we'd practice against it in case this happens, and so we had it covered. And it actually went out of bounds off of them, and so now we got the ball in front of their bench, and we're getting ready to bring it in. I've got a timeout left. I'm just getting ready to call timeout so we can advance the ball, and they're lining up down there, and I know I'm not going to bring it in there, not in front of their bench in that corner, and so I'm just ready to call a timeout to advance the ball. And here comes the referee with a technical foul. And you know how they jockey for position. They're in line to get into a throw in. It happens all the time. And this guy's looking, and we watched it on film, he's looking around 2 players, and he comes in with a foul. He got his fist, with a foul. And Coach Todd, he's over there, right behind the guy, and he's giving the T signal. And so now the official decides, okay, yeah, I think that's a T. So we're up 3. They shoot 2 free throws and make them both.
So how do you not get another T right there? Because I would.
Well, you just can't.
Yeah,
you just can't. And honestly, I didn't see what had happened, so I didn't know for sure what had happened. Now, had I known, it probably been worse. But obviously, you can't let them shoot 4 free throws and the ball. So we were, they made both. We got another stop. We were lucky, as far as being able to give some props to our kids for not allowing that to cause them to lose the game. That we said, hey, we're gonna overcome that. Fine. We're not gonna let that beat us. And they did a good job defensively.
Have you ever gone to those venues like that where you've been coaching and you just say to yourself, what would it feel like to walk out of here with a victory sometimes?
Yeah. That's Seward.
Yeah, exactly.
Back when Littell was there, they'd win 100 and some in a row, and then maybe they'd lose one, and then they'd win 80 more in a row. And so that's a tough place to play. It's a tough place to win.
So when you got the win and you were leaving, did you take time to say, this is what it feels like to walk out of here with a win?
In the locker room, we did. In the locker room afterwards when we got off the court. I'm not big on celebrating on the court. We got in the locker room, then we let it loose.
Jenny, have you ever had a player that's just an automatic double-double like she is? And they're not 11 and 10.
Right.
They're like 19 and 14 and things like that.
Yeah. Taylor Regan was probably the closest thing.
Sure.
And Taylor was 10 rebounds for sure. But there was games when she'd get maybe 7 or 8 points instead of not getting the double-double. But Taylor Regan would have been the closest thing I've had to that. Queen Olabo also, was able to get quite a few, but yeah, she's almost automatic, and against Northwest Tech she got one, and she only played like 23 minutes or 24 minutes, so that's nice to see.
I'm glad you brought up Taylor because she was one of those players that you went out and got right away. Then there's I don't know if she can play at that level. She's not, she's frail. She doesn't look. And you've got a lot of kids like that probably, they're from Cedar, Kansas, or someplace like that. How do you the competition they play, which is some good high school basketball in Kansas on the girls' side, but how do you say, okay, they're going to be just fine coming in here?
Just watching them on the court, their demeanor on the court, their toughness. That's the thing about Taylor Regan. She was, even though, she was playing 1A basketball, you could still tell she was playing tough. And when we talked to her about, being a rebounder, she decided, hey, that's a great role for me, and she embraced it, and obviously she was very successful at it.
Yeah, and she was a prolific scorer in high school, but then it's coming in and just said, okay, I'm going to hang my hat on rebounding.
Right, exactly, yeah, love her.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk about the week. Starts at Colby tomorrow, or on Wednesday, and Colby's having a tough season, but you go out there, so there we go, that road trip again.
Yes, sir, and the other part of it is, I don't know why she didn't play before Christmas, but they have a Division I transfer. Name is Peyton Pinkney or something. And she transferred in from Eastern Michigan, 6-foot kid that doesn't play back to the basket. And she got 12 against Cowley in her first game after Christmas break, and she got 18 against whoever they played, Dodge City. She got 18 against Dodge City Saturday. So she helps them. Makes them a little bit better offensively, and so we can't take them lightly.
And they took on Dodge City, of course, on Saturday, and Dodge City rolled them pretty good. So Pinkney, Ed Pinkney's daughter, right?
I think it's spelled a little different. I think Ed's got a C in there somewhere.
Okay, good, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So and Colby go out there. That game got interesting in the last minute last year out there, right?
Yeah, it was. We'd built a 20-point lead, I think, and they got crazy pressuring and doing some silly things and had a couple of intentional fouls, and it didn't end well. It was not we were just ready to go home.
Okay.
After that, because it was not pretty at all. It wasn't basketball at the end, and so
hopefully you can take care of that. So
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, since you're not on until next Monday, I'm going to have to ask you to do something coaches don't like to do, and that's to overlook the Wednesday opponent to your Saturday opponent because it's a rather large game. You've got Dodge City in town Saturday. Big girl game at the Kirkman Center on Saturday.
If we beat Colby.
If we beat Colby, we're going to take care of business
then
there.
It'll be a big game. If we don't beat Colby, then it doesn't mean as near as much. And so obviously we've got to beat Colby. But yeah, we haven't played for first place, in the conference this late in the season, or maybe at any time in the season. But yeah, so yeah, we'll take our shots at Colby first, and then see what happens there. And then if we do that, then yeah, that'll be a big game on Saturday.
You came in and you said, okay, we got to take down Seward, okay? We got to take care of Hutch, and we got to start competing with Butler, and then you get into this situation, and there's Dodge City up there.
Right.
Did you see this one coming?
Oh yeah, because they've got pretty much the same team they had last year. We played them basically for fourth place last year. The last game of the season was at home, and if we won, then we got fourth and got the home. We got the first round bye plus a second round home court, and that was a huge win for us against Dodge here. We both teams have pretty much the same team back from last year.
Talk about the matchup for you. I mean, did they cause you matchup problems, or is it a good matchup for your squad?
I think it's an okay matchup. They've got a 6-foot kid from Australia named Bree Stevens, who's I think their leading scorer. But they're very balanced, so they don't depend on one or two kids. And she's the biggest matchup problem. She's 6 foot, but she plays on the perimeter and can knock down threes. She can also take it to the basket. So they've got a point guard that's really, really thick and strong. She can be a matchup problem, but other than that, I think we match up pretty well.
Interesting, again, watching scores. I told Cole earlier this morning that there's been some wacky scores this year on both the men's and women's side. Did Coffeyville lose some players at the break, or is it just one of them things? I mean, Pratt took them down on Saturday. And Pratt's been the big surprise of the conference, 69-57, but Coffeyville now 0-2 coming back since the break. So,
and I heard something interesting today, too. Bill Annan from ORU was at our practice today, and he was talking to one of the coaches, and Cloud, I guess, before they went to Coffeyville, had 2 or 3 players. I think it was 3, but 2 of them for sure flew Southwest Airlines last week. So one of them got in the day before the game, and the other one got in the day of the game, and they went down and still won the game. So I guess practices don't really matter.
Well, practice is way overrated,
yeah,
Alan.
Exactly.
It's way over.
We're talking about practice. So anyway, actually, Coffeyville got a player that had been hurt. Bailey Lehman had been hurt. I think she got hurt the first game, and she's a knockdown shooter, and they got her back, and I'm not sure exactly what happened to Coffeyville the last 2 games, but I'm sure Tony will get it straightened back up, and they'll be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, it's one of these teams. And then you get into the dog days, right? You get at the end of January and move into February, and that's an interesting time of year because you'll see some teams just implode at that time.
Yeah.
It just depends on how it's going.
Yeah, and it's JUCO basketball.
Yeah.
You just never know, and that's why you go play the games.
Hutch seems to be finding their sea legs a little bit.
And they always do. They always do with Coach Ontjes and Coach Anderson and Coach Kirk. They always come along toward this time of the year, and they're really hanging their hat on their defensive end. We're the as far as points against, we're the top defensive team. Field goal percentage, we're the top against us. We're the top defensive team, and then Hutch is right there, second, or third, and so they're really playing really great defense. They've always played good defense. They're a little bit down offensively, not quite as good a scoring team, but with Coach, like I say, with Coach Ontjes, he'll find ways to win.
New poll out?
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
Hopefully soon.
Well,
it'll be sometime today.
Okay, very good. Alan, thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
Good luck. It's going to be a big week, and
come on out and watch us Saturday. I know people don't like that 2:00 start, but
it's perfect. I mean, it's
I'm probably running you overtime here, but
no.
You got KU, K-State both on Saturday afternoon. You got the Chiefs on Saturday afternoon, and so we're playing second fiddle, third fiddle, fourth fiddle to those teams, and I get that.
That's the biggest thing that's changed, hasn't it? Back in my day, you play like the game of the week on Saturday. KU or K-State would be. It's not there all the time. So 2 o'clock tip, 1:45 with Cole on Saturday. So
I appreciate it.
Alan, thanks a bunch. Alan Clark, head coach of the nationally ranked Barton Lady Cougars, here with us on Sports Day. Jim Mizunas, the legendary Heisman Trophy voter, up next here on the program.
Farmers depend on their equipment, and equipment depends on its fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel works as hard as you do and comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster even cleans up your injectors and prevents injector fouling, so your equipment can keep firing on all cylinders to make every day a field day. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
New year, new you. Looking for a career change? Superior Essex in Hoisington invites you to come join its team. Superior Essex is growing, expanding, thriving. Work in a safe, clean, and climate-controlled workspace. Superior Essex is hiring production associates. Earn up to $24 an hour plus a sign-on bonus up to $5,000 and a competitive benefits package including Blue Cross Blue Shield, Delta Dental, 401k with company match, vacation, and holiday pay. Apply at any Kansas Works office or at superioressex.com.
Thank you for calling Ruby's Incorporated. How can I help you?
I'm having a problem with my furnace.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What sort of problem?
Well, it sounds like... Have you heard that before?
Oh, yeah. We get calls like this all the time. At Ruby's Incorporated, we can definitely fix your furnace.
Call Brian at Ruby's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration in Great Bend, your independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
He's a veteran of high school and college sports coverage in Kansas. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mizunas.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Don't forget tonight, national championship game. TCU and Georgia. Coverage begins at 6 right here on KVGB. Jim Mizunas, you just love coming in here.
Oh, yeah,
you
it's great.
Talk to everybody.
Basketball, a little bit of football. What chance do you give TCU tonight?
Okay. None. I think they'll play him close. I can't see a scenario unless it's like a perfect game, Georgetown, Villanova, basketball, Patrick Ewing, or one of those type games that everything falls together. Football games are so long, you know? They're just so long, and I just can't imagine it.
Yeah, Georgia's got probably a better passing quarterback. TCU's quarterback runs much better. Georgia probably runs the ball better. Their defense is probably better. So, yeah, Georgia stacks up pretty well, but, I mean, it'd be great for the Big 12 to get TCU in there.
And for all the teams to come in there, it's like I was talking to Alan a minute ago. You know, he's coming in. You think about Hutch, Seward, Butler. We got to beat them, and then the team that's standing in front of them right now is Dodge City. So, you know, all the teams in the Big 12. Okay, we've got to get them to see if they can get in there and win at Oklahoma. TCU ends up getting it.
Yeah, it's fun for the conference and fun for TCU because they got hosed in 2014, where they should have been in the top 4. And honestly speaking, they would have won the championship.
Well, Baylor was right there that year, too.
Well, and again, TCU had a 21-point lead on Baylor at Baylor. Patterson elected to go for it on his own 40-yard line late in the game, didn't get it, and they lost on a field goal, which never should have happened. I mean, you should have played for overtime, but, you know, every coach makes a mistake from time to time. But TCU would have won the championship that year, and that's why I wanted them to play Ohio State, because it would have been back to 2014 where Ohio State got in, and okay, TCU's got a chance to show something 8 years later. So, but anyway, that didn't happen.
This has been completely a different college football season as what I expected, and I think what we're going to see moving forward with the transfer portal. You know, they call it name, image, and likeness. It's just now called pay the players. But it's going to bring parity it already did this year, I think. And we're going to concede that. I can see the 12-team playoff. That's awesome. I think I'm or 8-team, whatever you want to bring. I think there's going to be some chances of some upsets in there. I think all this has happened that I thought it would separate teams. I think it's going to bring them closer together.
Yeah,
now, it's not exactly that I like it.
Yeah, it's been interesting so far. I mean, I watched Cincinnati play Alabama last year down at Arlington, and Cincinnati, they played Alabama tough. So, I mean, it was a good ball game.
Okay, the year I was born was in February of the last time Kansas State got off to a 14-1 start. 1959. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. What was TCU and K-State picked in the Big 12, like 5th and 7th? And they were the top 2 teams. K-State was picked 10th in the basketball league. So, yeah.
And then it took them all this time. Let me say that I've been saying all along, I said, man, that K-State team's good. And then they'd get like 2 votes, and then they'd get 4. And now today they're all the way up to number 11.
Yeah, they still were outside the top 25 last week, but 3 consecutive victories by a non-ranked team against ranked teams has never happened. It's never happened. 116 points for K-State has never happened. Marquise Noel.
You mean that's never happened, the teams beat 3 straight ranked teams?
By an unranked team, no.
Oh, an unranked team. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Unranked team. Well, first of all, you got to play 3 consecutive ranked teams, and you got to beat them. So how often is that going to happen? Even if you're in a tough conference, you got to play 3 of the top teams in your conference in consecutive games and win all 3. So Marquise Noel, back-to-back 30-point games, 14 and 9 assists, and just an unbelievable start for Kansas State.
Yeah, and they've got Oklahoma State tomorrow night. So that's one. Jerome Tang was saying, yeah, it's really cool. I congratulate my guys, but, we're not where we want to be. We better take care of business. And Oklahoma State's showed they're a solid team.
No, they were 15 points up on Kansas in Lawrence. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so it just shows you that there's 18 tough conference games. And the thing I like about the Big 12, unlike the fake SEC conference, you play a double round robin with 10 teams.
But
everybody gets your shot.
The last time that's happening, probably. But
yeah, and so the Big 12 has legitimately only been the conference that has played it the right way. First of all, they had the right number of teams, 10, that you can play everybody in football, and you can play a double round robin in basketball, and you truly get a conference where those coaches know your teams, and you got a second shot at everybody. So, that's why those 18 conference games are very, very tough. And ironically, Iowa State, Kansas, and Kansas State each have 2 road wins already, which shows you the quality of play by the top 3 teams so far.
Yeah, and it's I know, but we're from the world when woolly mammoths used to walk around. All the good things about college sports are going. But anyway, I want to get to high schools. You were at the Panther Fieldhouse on Friday. I didn't know what I thought about Garden City on the boys' side, but I came away from that game very impressed, and we may see him play a little bit different because Colton Davis hadn't been getting that much time. He's 6'5", comes off the bench, scores 9 points, and I think they're going to kind of like that bigger look. They're big anyway, but there was Great Bend right at the end, man. Ian Premer with a shot to win it. I thought that thing was in. Kick long, Panthers foul, and then they able to get it back after one of 2 free throws goes down, and Premer almost made it from 35 feet. Man, second great basketball game in a row at the Fieldhouse.
Yeah, it was a tremendous boys basketball game, and just had that conference feel. First of all, Great Bend's band and their student crowd, they're just second to none.
There was a lot of folks in there Friday night.
They really get into it. They give the team the support, and they get excited about the quality of play. Ironically, you wouldn't have thought this, but Garden City, big physical team, banging on the boards. The only officiating call or 2 that I saw was Garden City's big guys are banging into the Great Bend guys, and Great Bend gets the foul. I don't understand that. Somebody please explain verticality to me, because that happened, and they were key calls. Garden City shoots 28 free throws. Great Bend, 11, 15? It was
yeah.
But anyway, that was my only contention with fouls. But what happened at the end was Garden City had 2 team fouls, and Coach Kyle saw that, they're going to keep fouling us and run the clock out. So smartly, they said, hey, we need to shoot a quick 3 and try and get the lead here. And that's exactly what they did. It was a great quality look by Ian Premer. He missed that one. And the second's a desperation try. But Coach Kyle saw that, hey, Garden had 4 fouls to waste, and they would have ran the clock out. So great coaching by Kyle, although Great Bend ends up shooting 4 of 21 on threes, which really ends up hurting them because you got to shoot 33, 40% to really make that decent. Otherwise, there's 17 rebounds flying around with a bunch of 6'4" Garden City guys grabbing them.
You're going to see that all year, though. I mean, Jim, Great Bend is not even averaging 10 free throws a game.
Yeah, I know, and that's the disadvantage.
I mean, that's it. And, you can look at the difference. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. But when you're a three-point shooting team, they need to find a way to get to the free throw line more often. I don't know how that is, but that's kind of what they are right now. So they're a three-point shooting team. I think that'll evolve a little bit. We'll see Premer get going. Hall's been good. He was in foul trouble the other night. But again, you got to get to the free throw line, man. You're giving up those free throw differentials like they are so far this year. And
tough.
as we saw close games, that's going to be huge.
And give Coach Kyle credit, too. They ran a great inbounds play late in the game. Inbounds play. It was great to see that. Good execution at the end of the game on certain situations. So, yeah, the tough part about playing Garden City and Hayes, the top 2 teams on the boys' side, at home, boy, you lose the first 2. Now you've already given up 2 games to the top 2 teams in the league. And then you got to go out on the road and play them. So, yeah, what a tough league start for scheduling.
And then you got unbeaten Hutchinson on Friday.
Yeah.
So boys and girls.
Oh, yeah, it's quite a challenge to start the season because although Hayes girls lost to Liberal, those are probably the top 2 teams, Liberal and Hayes. And so same with the girls. I mean, the girls, Sadie Spray is unbelievable. 27 points and 26 points and however many steals. She's just fantastic, having a great season.
But they need to find somebody else, and we kind of see the problem with if you're not creating points off your turnovers, getting in the half court has not been good for the Lady Panthers.
Great Bend girls, they had a great strategy too. They tried to pressure and tried to create some turnovers, and it worked. And then Sadie hit a couple threes late, but didn't quite work out for them. But yeah, both teams really just fun teams. Play with great effort and intensity, and there's no shame in losing to a team that just ends up beating you on the scoreboard. Really fantastic play and coaching by both teams.
Okay, now I don't want to look past tomorrow's games for Maxville and Ellenwood, but I'm going to.
Friday night.
This is going to be good this week too, because on Wednesday we're going to have Derek Joyner's going to be in studio with us. Parker Scheck's going to be one of the players and another player. So that's Wednesday. And then Thursday, Jeff Kuckelman's going to bring his 3 captains up from Maxville. So they're going to be in the studio on Thursday. So we're going to have the preview of this matchup. This is fun. This is what it's all about. I mean, you've got Maxville in 1A. Ellenwood's going to be in 2A. It's not going to be for postseason play or anything like that. But here we go. And Ellenwood handled Maxville, got off to a quick start last year, and the 2 teams played over at Ellenwood. But I'm looking forward to Friday night. That'll be fun.
That will be fun. And I'll say this right now. Derek Joyner is the best Rule 10 coach that I know of. I mean, most of the teachers and coaches work at the high school, but Derek Joyner is a Rule 10 coach. Fantastic job by Derek. He's got him in postseason contention the last 3 years, and no doubt this 4th year, although it's the toughest sub-state he's seen in 4 years.
And the flying man from Parker Scheck, man, that guy can leap out of the gym. He's one of my favorite players. He may land on his head one play.
Yeah, he's such a fun player.
Then if we can just, foul trouble's been a problem, but, they've got some depth this year. I think what he got, Ellenwood going into that, probably 4-point favorite on the road. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maxville's guards, they're awfully good, and both teams really good defensive teams. So I don't expect a whole lot of points to be scored in that game because Maxville, their guards are so good, and you never know which guard's going to hit 3 or 4 3-pointers for Maxville. Kuckelman's going to get double-double every night, and then everybody else chips in anywhere from 6 to 12 points. And so Maxville's definitely – I would guess that Maxville might have a little bit of an edge just after losing to them last year and losing the league title. I give Maxville a little bit of an edge at home.
It's the thing I've always liked watching Maxville. I know I've said this a million times, but they play so free on offense. They pump up threes, but man, they have with this group, especially. Going back to last year, man, they clamp down defense. I think it's going to be just
it should be one of the best. In fact, I would guess it's going to be one of the top high school games in the state Friday night, no doubt.
Looking forward to it. What else on your mind today, Jimbo?
Well, just
You always bring some good nuggets, then I start talking about what I want to, and then
yeah. I thought the most interesting thing I saw in the NFL was how Green Bay lost that game. Where two things you say, "Oh, I've never seen this before." Well, I've never seen a player kick the ball where the other team's trying to snap the ball, and I've never seen anybody rough up a guy trying to help somebody from an injury. And Green Bay lost the game because of those two penalties. So it was unfortunate for Detroit; they couldn't make the playoffs.
Chargers lose a wide receiver because, they wanted to
try and play him. Yeah.
Try to play.
Yeah.
And of course, that's one of the things now he's hurting everybody's, well, I can't believe that he did. I don't know. That's so tricky, resting guys.
No, you got to play. You got to keep playing because, how often have we seen that team with the bye? It happens more in baseball more than anything, where you get, some days off, you clinch the thing, and then you haven't played for 7 days, and then
if you're the number one seed, you get the first round bye, and so you got it wrapped up. So then you don't play in the last week of the season.
So you sometimes off 3 weeks. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's tricky, but it should be fun. Got KU and K-State, top of the Big 12 conference in the men's division, and KU's women are playing very well too.
I wish the Big 12. I mean, they've already taken away. I wish they'd stay away from these Tuesday games.
Yeah, it's all television related. As long as somebody's watching and they're paying them to air their games, it's unfortunate.
High school. That's high school now.
Yeah, I know. You can't really pay attention to those games on Tuesday because, you're paying attention to high school basketball, which is, the bread and butter for most folks.
I haven't been at a Hayes High Great Bend game for probably about 33 years, so there's...
And it's
this will be fun tomorrow night.
It's always fun, no matter what sport it is, baseball, softball, it doesn't matter what it is. Hayes and Great Bend is always gets the guys and the student crowd going, that's for sure.
Jim, thanks for coming in today. And I started thinking, we've got some time, but no. I looked up, and Mike Corson's over there going crazy right now saying, hey, we've got Panther Prowl coming up. Yeah, we do. We're going to talk Great Bend Wrestling coming up with Mike Corson. That is, I can't do that right now. Okay. We'll do this. Okay. Coming up next here on KVGB.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching in the field of nursing. Get hands-on training in the classroom, state-of-the-art simulation labs, and at clinical sites for this high-demand field. The priority application deadline is January 31st. Apply online at nursing.bartonccc.edu.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
I had a young gal come in the other day who has been having chronic back pain. Did a session just helping her to understand her pain, not understanding her back, but teaching her how her nervous system works. And just that knowledge just calmed her down so much. She came back in this morning, huge smile on her face, and she was so excited to learn more. It was a blast.
Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by Great Bend High School wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. 2023 already busy for you fellas. We will start with Dodge City. 8th place finish this weekend. But first, how are you doing, Coach? New year.
I'm doing good. It was we got some good practices in, some 2-day practices over Christmas break right before the new year came in, and just to get us prepared in a little bit better shape for the upcoming finish of the year.
Real quick on the team score from Dodge City. Hoxie goes in as a Class 1A school, and they had 12 wrestlers, which was less than most of the big schools. and they kind of dominated. How unusual to see. I know they're very good. I watched them last year, but how crazy to see a 1A school kind of dominate a big tournament like that.
It's pretty rare. Not going to toot my own horn too much, but it kind of reminds me of back when my sophomore, junior, senior year when we traveled down to the Newton tournament and won the Newton tournament when I was going to school at Norton. So it's definitely kind of rare on that side of things, but Hoxie's got a very, very good squad, and they were very impressive. I think they put 8 kids in the finals and went 4-4 in the finals, first and second. So they're a tough group.
And we're going to start out for Great Bend. Everybody's mind's kind of been on the Buffalo Bills, what happened with DeMar Hamlin. You guys had your own scary situation Saturday with Skylar McMullen goes in at number 6 at 138, and he suffered a pretty significant injury, or what was going on there?
So we hit a little stand-up, and Skylar's arm got trapped. And anytime someone's arm gets trapped and there's a bump lift, the officials are supposed to stop the match for a potentially dangerous situation just because, you don't know which direction the kid's going to go once they pick us up off the ground. And unfortunately for Skylar, the match didn't get stopped, and we got dumped right on our head and shoulder on the side where we couldn't protect ourselves. And he did get knocked out. I don't even know if the official realized we got knocked out. He didn't call it a slam, which it should have been called a slam. So unfortunately, we had to discontinue for the day. It was a pretty scary situation. Skylar was did get knocked out a little bit, knocked out cold for, I honestly don't know how long he was out. He was breathing still, so it wasn't like he stopped breathing or anything like that. But he was just kind of laying there unconscious. We got out there. Their training staff at Dodge State did a wonderful job of getting him back to and checked him out. He didn't have any concussion symptoms, fortunately for him, not even too stiff or nauseous or headache or nothing. He's going to go, double check today at the doctor's office just to kind of make sure everything's good to go. But he is very fortunate based on how we landed that there's nothing, nothing at least that we can see right now that's significant. Very lucky, we didn't break our neck or something crazy like that the way we felt.
And so he was 2-0, pinned his first 2 opponents, and then lost to a second-ranked wrestler from Junction, finished 8th. And then the other big one for you guys, another injury. Cooper Lyles goes in ranked number 4, and he's sitting at 2-0, but he goes up against third-ranked Zachary Wesley of Goddard's, loses 11-0, but he's unable to finish due to injury. Kind of tough to see 2 of your top kids not able to finish the day.
Yeah, it's always frustrating when you get a little banged up. A tournament like that, you're going to get a little banged up, and hopefully you can just kind of work through it and respond through it. But unfortunately, Cooper took 2 injury times and ran out of injury time. One he got his knee cranked on a little bit, and the other one his shoulder cranked on a little bit. And so when we forfeited the match, we just precautionary set him out of that last match. I think he could have wrestled in it if we wanted to. But we just, with the grind of the season, we just didn't feel like we needed to aggravate it anymore at that point.
Talking to Great Bend High School wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. And the big one for me, tough bracket at 150. You had several ranked kids in there. So Jay Schartz finished 3rd, but you had a loss to 4th-ranked kid from Dodge City, but he wins against 2nd-ranked kid from Gardner Edgerton. How good was Jay Saturday?
Jay did pretty well. We were battling a little bit of injury that happened in practice. Hurt like a hamstring or glute. I'm not exactly sure where it is. So he wanted to go ahead and kind of give it a go because he knew the competition that was going to be there. So he performed well. We did take a loss to the Dodge City kid. We were in the match still, but got reversed. I didn't see his match, but I do know we got reversed and kind of, from what I said, kind of caught on our back when we got reversed and pinned, which is kind of frustrating because when we dual dodged, I think we won that match pretty big in the duel. So we were kind of thinking we'd be going for 1st and 2nd there. But Jace wrestled well, dominated most of his kids, especially the Gardner Edgerton kid, wrestled real well there. The Emporia kid was bumped up to 157, so we didn't get a chance to see him either, but there was his bracket was one of the top brackets there. All the brackets had, 6, 7, 8 kids ranked in them. So they were all, it was a good start of the year for us.
And then it's kind of some funny finishes. You had some kids going 4-1, but they would finish kind of weighs down into placing. So at 215, you had two kids in there, Kevin Schroeder and Brody Schnoblin. And then you had the 5th-ranked Jackson Vikander from Manhattan. But both those kids, pretty solid days, lots of pins.
Yeah, you know, whenever they let me have an extra entry at 215, we let them both wrestle 215, and whenever we don't get an extra entry at 215, they have a little challenge match, and the loser has to wrestle heavyweight for that weekend. They're both realistically, truly 215-pounders, but unfortunately, one of them's got to go heavyweight when it comes down to it when we get to regionals. Most likely, looking at how it's been going, it'll probably be Brody, but both of them did really well at Dodge City. I think we took 3rd and 5th, or 4th and 5th in those two brackets, so both of them losing to Vikander, so kind of makes you wonder if Brody wouldn't have been in that same pool as Vikander, would we have put two of them in the top 4?
And also, the Panthers picked up a dual win at Pratt last week. Where are you guys headed this week?
All we got this week on the boys' side is Capon. We originally we're going to have to travel to Ellis on Friday, but unfortunately that duel is getting canceled. We'll be putting that information out on social media today, but we will just have the Capon duels. Hopefully we can go 5-0 and to improve our duel record this weekend down in Capon.
Great Bend High School wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman, good luck and thank you.
Thank you.
More Sports Day after this.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use Closet Box instead? Closet Box is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. Closet Box's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. Closet Box's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. Closet Box has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
Well, once again, a great day here on Sports Day. Appreciate Alan Clark coming in, Jim Mizunas, and Nathan Brockman. Nathan will be back tomorrow to talk some Great Bend High School girls wrestling. Talking about the Great Bend Hayes matchup tomorrow. Dustin Armbruster is going to be on the show tomorrow, voice of the Hayes High Indians, so we'll preview that matchup. Also, Cole Reif with look at Barton this week, both men and women, with at Colby Wednesday. And you've got a big doubleheader tomorrow night, especially for the Hoiston girls, Michael, because they take on Haven, who I saw knock off Great Bend earlier this season, too. So
well, both Haven squads are undefeated.
Oh, Haven boys are the 1-3-1, yeah.
I tell you what, Beloit Friday night, Beloit boys are pretty good. They crushed Hoisington.
Yeah. All right, that's our show today. Great shows all week. Check it out at greatbendpost.com.
This is Agriculture Today, and I'm Samantha Bennett with the K-State Radio Network.